What's going on? I just wanted to come to you guys with a brief little video just to just kind of help people think through some of the things that's going on in today's economy. Unemployment is, kind of eating up. Layoffs are happening at a record pace right about now. And that got me to thinking, what can people do to kind of shield themselves from negative things in the economy that happen, right? What if, think about this, tomorrow, if before you came to work or as you go into work, your employer said, hey, we're going to lay you off. Thanks for your services. Have a nice time, right? Now you got bills to pay. You have a family to be responsible for. You have children. You got to put food on the table. You have a mortgage, rent, utilities, whatever that you have to pay, right? And now you have absolutely no income or no way to take care of those expenses. What would you do? How would you handle that? What would be the first thing you did? Would it be to, look for another job, try to, get a side hustle, DoorDash? How would you take care of that? So what I'm here to offer you is a way to think about what would you do? So here's the thing. Most of us have cars, right? Well, guess what? When you get into a situation where your car gets a flat, you drive over a nail, a pothole, whatever the case may be, and you get a flat tire, what do you got in the trunk? You have a spare tire, right or wrong? So, and why do you have a spare tire? You have one just in case something happens to any of the tires that's on your car currently now, that's keeping you moving forward, right? So you should think of your career and your finances and your money in the same light, right? Do you have a financial or income spare tire? And if the answer to that question is no, then you need to listen to the rest of this video very intently, because I'm going to be talking about some things that you're going to need to understand as we move forward, especially they're going to be relevant today in our economy that we're currently living through, okay? So let me just help you understand a couple things. Number one is inflation, right? So it's a buzzword that gets thrown around a lot, and you hear it, and you kind of know what it is, but you don't really know what it is, right? So you know that things cost more, but that's only the tip of the iceberg. So the long and short of it is, it's the devaluation of our currency over time. See, we pay for things in US dollars. Well, how are US dollars created? Well, they're created by the Federal Reserve, who essentially snaps money into existence and takes that snapped money and buys government bonds, which are essentially IOUs that the government uses to fund its operation. So why is that a problem, and what does that have to do with inflation? Well, when you don't have money that's attached to any store of value that can just be created out of thin air, it has to get its value from somewhere. So the new money gets its value from the old money. So to illustrate this point, if you cut a pie into 8 slices and you took one of those slices and you cut that in half, and then you cut that slice in half and you keep doing that, right? That pie, that original slice of pie you had, gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, right? Same thing with our money. Each dollar becomes worth less and less and less. And as a result, you can buy less things with the same amount of money over time. That's what inflation is. So think about it this way. The house that you live in, the car that you drive, everything, right? So people buy houses because they appreciate, right? So think of it this way. Intrinsically, is there anything inherently more valuable about the sheetrock that your home was built with? I'm gonna let you think about that for a moment. Is there anything more inherently about the stove that came with your house now than it was when you first purchased it? Is there anything intrinsically more valuable about the flooring or the roof or the furniture that's more intrinsically valuable now than it was when you first purchased the house? Another question is, could you go out and sell those things, not the whole house, but can you go and sell the refrigerator or the TV or the furniture for more than what you sold it for what you purchased it for initially? No, you can't. So that brings up an interesting question. Why do houses seem to appreciate more over time then? I'll tell you why. It's not that your house is worth more money. It's that the dollars that's being used to purchase your house are worth less. So it takes more of those same dollars to purchase that house. Mind blown, right? See, most people don't understand how money works. And if you don't understand how money works, how could you ever hope to use it to your advantage or win the money game? You can't. You just can't. And they don't teach you this stuff in school. They don't teach you that. I mean, you don't ever learn. And we live our lives day to day. We're always chasing money, concerned about the next thing. Oh, I got to pay this. I got to do this. I got to do this. And we prioritize our lives based on the need for money. But we don't have any idea of how money works. Let me illustrate this point for you a little bit better. I'm going to share my screen with you. So here's the deal. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what is known as an inflation calculator. All right. So this tells you the change in the change in the value of money over time. So let's take a look at this first example. $100,000 in 2002, not that long ago, right, guys? All right. So $147,894 you're going to need in 2022 to buy what $100,000 could buy you in 2002. That's 47% more. That means that I don't think you understand the implications of this, okay? If you make $100,000 a year and you've been doing so ever since 2002, your money has lost 47% of its value. And let me ask you this, can you go to your boss and say, hey, give me a 47.89% raise? Are you kidding? Or could you ask your boss and say, hey, can you index my, salary or wages to inflation? What do you think they're going to tell you? They're going to look at you like you're crazy. If they indexed your wages to inflation, they'd be out of business because they have to do the same thing for everybody. And the whole point of a business is to make a profit. And if I have to pay everybody $50-$70 an hour, I don't have a business anymore. I'm going out of business. Lights cutting off. I'm closing the door. So this information that I'm giving you should be sounding off alarms in your mind, like, oh my God, holy crap, he's right. But the thing is, it's not over because you can do something about it. And I'm going to show you how you can do that in a minute. Now, I'm also going to show you the effect that this has on your savings. Right now, what I'm showing you are current yields in savings accounts. Basically what banks are paying you on your money. If you look, you got some 1%, 1.35, 1.52%, right? Now, if you've been following me, you know about something called the rule of 72. And the rule of 72 basically says, take whatever interest rate you're being paid and divide it by 72. And it tells you approximately how many years it takes for your money to double at that rate. So let's do this. The highest interest rate up here is 1.52. So 72 divided by 1.52. I don't know if you can see that. I can't make it any bigger, but it's 47.3. So that means if you had money sitting in this lending club account, it would take approximately 47 years for your money to double. Now, the question I have for you is, how many years, how many doubling periods do you have left in your life? Now, you might say, what does savings have to do with inflation and, having a spare tire as a job? Well, check it out. Most people don't save anything for retirement, for emergencies, for anything. They live paycheck to paycheck. 46% of Americans can't afford extra bill of $500 or more. So I'm gonna show you why it's relevant and it all ties together. Because let's say you are somebody who says, man, I really need to start saving some money for retirement or a rainy day or whatever, right? And you put away, $25,000. Well, guess what? If you was to have it in this account or at the bank or in a CD or anything right now, in 47 years, you'd have 50 grand. Now, I don't know about you. I've never retired before, but I'm pretty sure you can't retire on 50 grand. Not for too long anyway, before you be going back to work. You're going to have to go to Walmart or something, right? So here's the deal, right? I'm going to show you how this works. So I have a savings calculator here, right? So we're going to take 25 grand. And we're not going to put any money to it monthly. And we're going to give it 30 years to grow. And we're going to use this interest rate down here. What is it? 1.52. Oh. So if you never contributed anything to it ever again, if you just had if you managed to save up $25,000 and you put it in a bank account or a savings account, at the end of 30 years, you got $39,000. Can't retire on that. Now, mind you, most people don't even have that set aside, even to go in that direction. But here's the thing. Here's where having a spare tire comes into play. What if you knew someone like me who can sit down with you and do a financial plan with you to help you understand and coach you on where to find better rates of return? Let's see. Let's check it out. Let's see what we got over here. Let's look at some mutual funds. Let's see, mutual fund over here. All right. And just like everything else, of course, it's down 18% for the year, but the overall market's down 30%. So it's a little less than the market, but look at the max. 33%, right? If you would have put some money back in January 7th of 2000, you'd be a pretty happy camper right now through everything, through the 2008 housing bubble, right? If you would have held, most people would have sold right here. What if you would have held, right? Through the stuff that happened in 2016, through COVID. Look at COVID right here. You can see the little dip and where we are now. So, but the whole thing that I'm trying to get to as it relates to you having a spare tire is understanding what to do with that money once you have a spare tire. So, and that's not the only thing. These are what's called mutual funds. Mutual funds allow you to diversify your portfolio. Look at that, 231% since 2000. And these things are just sitting here waiting for people. You have access to this stuff. I mean, granted, you couldn't just go buy a mutual fund. You'd have to go through a broker. It's not like you can go on, Robinhood or something and put your money into a mutual fund. That's not how these work. You'd have to get in contact with a broker. I'm a broker, shameless plug, so I can get you into these type of investments, right? So here's the deal. Let's say you, let me look at the 5-year return. Okay, the 5-year return for this particular fund is 28%. So what's 28 divided by 5? And then what we do is, on average, we're looking at about a 6% rate of return per year on average. So let's go over here. And even if you could do half of this, right? The max is 230%. The 5-year chart is 28%. The 1-year chart is probably down 25%, but that's still a little less than what the whole market is doing right now. Year to date, 23%, 6 months, that's the whole market right now. But long term, think long term. This is all short term. Think about your time horizon. Think about your retirement. You're not going to need this money for the next 20, 30 years. So this is just a blip on the map, but look what it's done over time. That's the more important number. So over 5 years, it's even with the way it's down, it's still averaged 28%. So even if you could just average whatever half of that is, so 28 divided by 2, we'll just be like super conservative, 14%. All right. Now let's go back to our financial calculator. Put this in here, 14%. Boom, 1.6 million in 30 years. Not that every year is going to be 14%, but you could average 14% over the 30 years that your money is invested in that fund. So the same amount of money, just in a different vehicle. And that's what we're talking about, guys. Different vehicle, the right vehicle to get you to where you want to be. Is your job going to get you to where you want to be? Are you going to have this saved in 25 years at your job? Currently, right now? Let's be realistic. Do you have any plan in place to have something like this? Have you even planned to have this? Have anything open? No, most people don't. And that's not included if you start contributing to this. Let's say I sat with you and we could find money in your budget to where you could put $250 a month towards this. Look at that. 3 million, it went from 1.6 to 3 million just by contributing $250 a month. That's some Starbucks. That's some eating out. That's some unnecessary stuff that we do. That's some entertainment costs. That's some Netflix. Which would you rather have? A comfortable retirement or some Netflix and Starbucks? I'm just saying, folks. More importantly, though, here's the thing. I'm looking for some good people right now to come and help me get this word out, to help educate families of what their options are. And the company I'm with pays very good. So if you help one person on their home and auto insurance, that's $150. So let's do some quick math right here. So this is just part-time, by the way. We're not even talking about full-time income. So just put that aside. If you helped one person save money on their home and auto insurance, because we're contracted with the 20 top carriers, all right? And we save people on average $475 a year. $150, right? Let's say you help someone put in place a will, because I don't know about you, but I don't want the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania deciding what happens to my stuff when I pass away. So I need to have a will in place, right? You help somebody put a will in place, that pays you $80, right? We're at $230 just for home and auto and a will. If you helped a family protect their income to where they don't have to have a GoFundMe when either of them dies and their children are not destitute, on a part-time contract, the company would pay you $500. So on an average insurance policy, we're up to $730 with 3 items, 1 a month. On part-time, that's an extra $730 a month. We're not talking about no huge money here. What would you do with an extra $730 a month? So let's do the math here. I'm gonna stop here. There's more products and there's different things, but I'm gonna just be conservative. Life insurance, home and auto, help them set up a will. 3 things, 1 time a month. That's $8,700 a year. The maximum contribution to a Roth IRA or IRA is $6,000 this year. So could you figure out a way to max your retirement planning with that? What if that's all you did? What if you didn't decide to go full time? If that's all you did, you could have a spare, and you could create an emergency fund with this, right? Because let's do this. Let's say you put this whole thing divided by 12, what was that, 730? So let's say you started off with nothing, but you was to save, you came on board with us, put 730 in there, 3 products once a month. It takes about 3 hours to set those products up for someone, all of them in one sitting. Probably closer to 2.5, but I'll just be 3 to be super conservative, right? If all you did was just save that money for 30 years at 14%, and remember, coming here, you get knowledge about how money works and where to put your money and how to help your clients put money if you decide to get securities license with us. But look at that, $4 million in 30 years just by putting away 730 away. I'm gonna just pause and let you soak that in. See, folks, it's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep and what you do with the money you do make. Look at that. Is that life-changing or what? And that's just working part-time with us. Helping one family with life insurance, set up a will and a home and auto quote once a month. That takes 3 hours to do. I don't know where you can go right now and make 730 in 3 hours, but So you scale that up, you do it twice a month. Now you're talking about $1,400, $1,500. You do it 3 times a month. Now you're talking, see, so just do the math in your head and what you could save. And if you already have a job, that's fine. Keep it. But why not have a spare tire? So folks, if you see the value in this and you see the power in this, and you realize that no matter where you work right now, your boss is not giving you a 50% raise, and that the economy is going in such a way where there is a recession coming and there are massive layoffs coming, folks. It's already starting. Do you want to be positioned to come out the other side of that stronger or weaker? Why not position yourself in a way that you can take advantage of the knowledge that I just shared with you? So look, it's a very simple decision, folks. If you want to improve your financial future and your financial prospects, and you want to learn more about money, and you're curious about how money works and different places to put your money at so that you can get great returns on your money and not just waste it, and be set for life when you go to retire and not have to work at 70, 85 years old, folks, click the link in the description below. Set up a time where we can have I can set up an interview with you and see if you qualify to come on board and work with us. And if you do, that's the kind of results you can get. That's the type of money you can, and that's part-time. That's not any flashy, crazy numbers. That's just being conservative. Part-time, 3 hours a month. All right? Understand that. So, that being said, you know there's 3 people that's going to watch this video. There's going to be one watch to say, that's nice, but I'll do it later, kick the can down the road. There's going to be one that says, wow, not only could I help other people, but I need to know, how to do some of that myself. There's going to be people like, I want it all. I want to help other people, make a part-time income, and I want to do that for myself. The only question is, which one are you going to be? Get prepared, folks. That's all I'm going to say. Because people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. Don't be one of those people that fail to plan. Get yourself a spare tire. Get yourself a plan to protect yourself from inflation, from recession. Make yourself recession proof. Get a spare tire. That's all for today, and I'll see you next time.